And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. This is a good bump to come in on.
Yeah.
I love the Stones.
Yeah, top five Ben band, I'd say.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd say the Stones are definitely in there.
I don't know. I've always put out this hot take, but I don't know of any other band that's like put out so much good stuff over such a long period of time. And I always say that, but the modern or semi-modern, because we're not all 5 years old like Christian, example is maybe the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, just like album after album for... You know, what the Stones' true run was probably, a decade and a half, maybe?
In their prime?
Yeah. Of really making hit after hit after hit, album after album. I always thought the Chili Peppers kind of did that for, maybe not as long, but we're certainly doing that for a long time.
They're probably the best band from the 90s, still going hard. Still, like, pretty relevant. So I think that's an apt comparison.
Like a pop band anyway.
And even has the like how are you still alive aspect of it with some of the key players.
I have no idea if it's fake news or not, but did you see the clips that were going around from Billy Corgan, the Smashing Pumpkins guy, about how they intentionally killed rock? And the MTV verse, like the corporation, you know, whatever, deciding what everybody likes, decided that rock was over.
Okay, rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's like, is there a original bass player for Red Hot Chili Peppers named
No.
Rock?
Sorry,
who was there with Flea?
Like,
and I was like, no, okay, rock and roll.
Like rock and roll. And I mean, how many true rock bands are actually in pop music anymore?
Correct. Rock, that style of rock is largely dead.
And the Chili Peppers were totally in pop music. I mean, they were the biggest band in the world at one point.
The only thing I would say, and it's a huge caveat, is that Billy Corgan's a true lunatic. So
right, which I have no idea what old Bill's up to,
he's an
but
absolute lunatic.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But I mean, he was on top of the world there for a minute, and then they basically disappeared.
And apparently nobody liked him. That was kind of their issue. Nobody in
Liked
band
him,
or out of band liked
him personally.
Correct. So he would go on these, Lollapalooza tours, and people were like, this is the worst person on the planet. Because he was always that guy. He was always proselytizing about something. It's like, all right, okay, Bill.
Kind of a Charlie Manson type.
Yeah. You know who you remind me of? Charles Manson.
Got a lot of Charlie Manson.
Yeah.
Christian, you know who Charlie Manson is?
Christian, do you know who the Smashing Pumpkins are?
Yeah. Smashing Pumpkins, Tonight, that whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways.
Now I can't decide whether Christian's being honest or mocking.
No, he'll play Smashing Pumpkins every once in a while.
I believe Christian's heard of Charlie Manson.
Yeah. It models his facial hair.
I kind of believe that he's heard of the Smashing Pumpkins. I remember when they played Top Hat Music in Sandy.
Wow.
When I was in high school.
Big deal.
One of those things where you actually I wasn't even that into them, but kind of regret not going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Trip down memory lane.
Good times.
Yeah.
Music, rock bands, all but gone. But anyway, they're super fractured. I mean, I don't know if there'll be a true rock band that we all love and enjoy.
No, there's too many options now, which is fine. It's better to have a lot of options, but there used to be fewer pages on the menu to turn to.
Indeed. All right, Ben, the Big 12 tourney is underway. I know you're very excited. We had one local team win and one local team lose.
Utah played an okay first half. Well, they played an okay first 16 minutes, and then I think they gave up a 12-0 run late, and then they were down double digits, and then they kind of brought it back to 6, and then it was a disaster. But the whole season was a disaster. So maybe just a year you have to get out of the way if you're Alex Jensen, but I look around enough college basketball that teams figure out a way to turn it around somewhat quickly and feel like they do take a positive first step. I do not think Utah took a positive first step this year.
We won't dwell on Utah. That
might be the
definitely
last we talk about Utah basketball this year.
Less relevant game, certainly. It would be unfair to expect Alex Jensen in his first year to be competitive, I think. That being said, 10 wins is pretty uncompetitive. So obviously patience with a first-year head coach. He deserves it and will get it and all the things. But I bet he learned a lot of lessons. I bet he's not thrilled with 10. You know what I mean?
It's too few.
Yeah, I bet Alex himself is not thrilled with that, or it was harder than he anticipated, or even the program. It's probably wanted more. Is that fair?
100% fair. And again, yeah, you got to give him some time because Utah's going to give him time. You don't need to be impatient as a fan because Utah's not being impatient at the moment.
Well, nobody should. But 10.
Yeah, no, as far as wins above replacement, which I think is what you're looking for a head coach, is who's going to step in and do a better job than the average coach out there. I don't know if Alex Jensen did. In fact, I know he didn't. He did not. He does not have a positive WAR right now, as they like to say.
I do feel bad for the current players because all anybody's saying in Ute World is wait till these clowns are gone.
Yeah, wait till the next guys come in. Okay.
Wait till this clown show is playing at Idaho State.
Yeah.
And wait till you see what Alex brings in next year, which is kind of true, but I do feel bad for the players who should not be paying attention to that. But I noticed backhanded insults.
Yeah. But no, there was a more relevant game yesterday.
Certainly a more relevant game. BYU beat Kansas State 105-91, and Mr. D. Bonsa dropped 40.
Yeah.
Ben dropped 40, and they put away the Wildcats. It goes to show when BYU wants to really amp it up and play. And I'm not saying the defense was all that great, but it didn't really need to be. They can really play. Yeah,
I'm a little torn on this outing by BYU as a whole. Certainly not on AJ DiBonsa, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But we were just dogging Utah for winning 10 games. Kansas State won 12 games this year. So Kansas State is very much a Utah
not very good
quality team, and
fired their coach and all that stuff.
BYU was up 1 at the half. I mean, it was another disastrous first half for BYU. Slow start, giving up a lead. Kansas State was up late until BYU kind of stormed back in the first half. And you gave up 91 points to a dreadful team. So the defense has not been cured, but AJ put on his cape and was truly magnificent. I mean, it was probably, scoring-wise, it was the best, and overall, maybe the best freshman performance in the Big 12 tournament ever.
They were, was it Durant who they were comparing
KD had
it
37.
To? Yeah.
And AJ has 40 now.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly went hero. By the way, do you just on a side note with Kansas State, I don't even know how credible they were. Did that Calhoun turn them down?
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
And obviously none of that can be public at this moment in time, but that was circulating the online Snap Talk world yesterday. Did you see that, Christian, any of that stuff?
I think it was a troll.
Was it a troll?
There's a lot of trolls out there.
Okay.
C. Esparza
who knows?
at The Zone tweeted that out.
Well, if I were to make a troll account, I wouldn't put The Zone in there.
Well, not everyone's that smart.
Maybe you're double-crossing everybody, right? Like everybody would assume you wouldn't put Zone in there, so you are going to put Zone in there.
Yeah, put the last 4 digits of your social in there. So AJ was great. Yeah.
And Kansas State stinks.
And you know what? They got some nice production off their bench, and they had 16 assists. So if I'm looking for the markers of what I've been asking to see from BYU, we did get more of it. Now, again, only 4 players had assists, and 12 of the 16 came from AJ and Rob Wright, but I'm not going to nitpick. You got to win in advance.
Yeah, I think you got to hold your breath on that one because I don't think the team is
I'm not waiting for it, yeah.
No, I think the team's best way to winning basketball games is doing what they're doing. As much as like the Coach Lacombs of the world out there watching it hate it, it might be the best strategy, honestly.
And because AJ is so good, and because this was the question of we were talking about this exact thing last week, which was how much higher can AJ raise his game? And the truth is, well, if he's the best player on the floor and maybe the best player in college basketball, if it's not him, it's Cam Boozer, but they don't have to see Cam Boozer, so it's not going to matter. If he's the best player, can he just continue to up his game and up his game and up his game?
Well, he's going to have the ball the whole game. So.
Yes, and so, this might not be the last 40-point performance we've seen from him. And by the way, that's what tournament basketball is about. I mean, we can go back and look at, Kemba puts together one of the greatest runs of all time we've seen in college basketball, where it was UConn, right?
Yeah. UConn's had it happen a couple of times.
But I think they were the 6th seed or whatever it was in the Big East tournament at the time, and probably weren't even tournament bound. And he puts on his cape, and I think he beats Pitt with the game buzzer beater in the Big East championship game, and then carries them to the title. Like, sometimes having the best player on the floor is individually that important, especially when they can raise their game to the next level. And truthfully, outside of a couple of players in the Big 12, maybe only Darren Peterson, and he doesn't play enough, I don't know if anyone else can raise their game to the level of A.J. DeBonsa, which just gives you a puncher's chance.
I agree. Remember Tiny Tyus Edney? UCLA taking them to the title. Yeah, it can happen. Jimmer Fredette took BYU to the Sweet 16.
Andre Miller.
Yeah. What, you're going to slander Mike Doliak like that?
Like that?
BYU takes on West Virginia tonight, 5 o'clock, ESPN2. It'll be a more difficult test.
Absolutely, and it could fizzle out, and then it could be the end of this run. I was glad BYU did get the first win. And then, not to leave AJ too quickly, because again, we're talking about a local freshman who had 49-6 and 3 steals in a tournament game. It's truly unreal that he's doing. I love that he's doing this. I love that this is a part of his story. I love his competitiveness. I love that he's going to go into the draft with this type of fire and that he wants to be the number 1 overall pick. I want those guys. I want to see those guys play. I want to see those guys in the NBA. And AJ is really representing BYU well. This could have had any number of outcomes with maybe the best freshman in the country or one of the top 3 freshmen in the country going to BYU. You just never know what they're going to turn in. And I don't mean specifically because of BYU, but because these freshman seasons, these highly touted freshmen, there's no guarantee they're going to be a certain type of person or a certain type of player or have a certain level of interest in college basketball. And I think AJ's exceeded all expectations, if not at worst, definitely met them. So I think this has been really fabulous. And if this is his crown jewel, fine. He gave you 40 in a tournament game or in a Big 12 tournament game. That's awesome.
The care factor, I think, is what you're talking about.
The give a darn.
I think it's
what we call it at BYU.
I think it's very high. That's what the give a darn factor. And I would agree with that take. Let me ask you this: if you are evaluating it, how much does that matter to you? If you're an NBA scout and you're evaluating your take on a player, and they do not have a high care factor at that level,
it's not an absolute disqualifier. But I would certainly much rather have it than not have it.
Okay.
If you don't have it, but your natural skills are so obvious, I will still take a chance on you because I would totally understand the context of not giving a darn in college. I totally get it. It's a joke. The NCAA is awful. Your teammates are mostly, and this is with all due respect to every college basketball player, mostly terrible compared to who you are as a player. I mean, the gap between A.J. DeBonsa and even the second best player on BYU's roster is enormous. It's mammoth. But if he doesn't mind that and buys into it, A+, bright green flag. It's a little bit of a red flag if a player doesn't care, but it doesn't necessarily mean I wouldn't draft you.
Okay, I'm trying to think of examples, and I would be open to these, by the way. Used to call in or Christian, if you can think of some, but examples of the care factor, the give a darn factor being low, and how the outcome turned out. There's 2 that immediately jump to mind.
I have one that immediately jumps to mind.
First, I'll go with the it didn't seem to matter. Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, of course.
Got a hangnail 3 games into the season and then shut it down.
Yep.
And then eventually goes number 1 and wins a title and likely Hall of Famer, I would guess.
Yeah, first ballot, no question.
On the other side, you remember old Ben Simmons?
Yes.
And his care factor at LSU
100%.
was
Zero.
In fact, they did like a documentary about how little he cared,
He
right?
quit on the NIT tournament. He would not go.
He did not care at all, goes number 1, and actually turned out that not care factor probably sunk his career.
It did follow him.
It absolutely followed him.
Yeah.
And those not caring habits caused him to not care about his shot or development in any way, shape, or form. And now he's a punchline. And not in the league?
He's not in the league.
Although Kevin Durant loves him. Kevin Durant loved old Ben Simmons because he passed him the ball.
It's a Rudy Gobert, Kyle Anderson situation.
So I don't know. It's kind of a crapshoot. But
The name I bring up always is Jaden McDaniels with the Timberwolves, who at Washington, and this was the malaise of Washington. And
didn't care.
Washington didn't care, and he certainly didn't care. And Washington also had Isaiah Stewart at the time, who is a very good player now with the Detroit Pistons and loves punching people. But Isaiah Stewart, I believe, was also on that Washington team, and they were loaded with like some prime time recruits who got to Washington, and the culture was not there to be competitive. So credit Kevin Young, who has gotten the recruits and then has also maintained an atmosphere of competitiveness, which we saw absent at Rutgers last year. And I don't think that meant that Ace Bailey wasn't competitive or that Dylan Harper wasn't competitive, but that the rest of the roster around him was not competitive. That was more similar to what happened at Washington. Jaden McDaniels was a top, if I remember, 15 recruit. He averages 13 points and 6 rebounds at Washington, which is fine, but he shot 40% from the floor and 34% from three and really just kind of hoisted some bad shots. And you're just like, does this dude care at all? And that's why he slipped to the end of the first round. Then he got to the NBA and he said, okay, now it's time to lock in. Now, the problem for Jaden McDaniels is he really hurt himself. Like he probably missed out on $15 million over the first 3 years of his career by not playing harder. So that was his issue. And also he had the advantage of landing on a good team that probably made his life easier and maybe a better spot versus had he been drafted in the lottery and someone's like, well, you got to be a face of our franchise. He didn't step into that immediately with Minnesota. So in a couple of ways, I think that worked out for him. But he really showed no care factor and still made it, which is why if you have the right physical tools and have showed it in high school, I'll probably still be willing to take a chance on you at certain points in the draft. But Ben Simmons is a perfect example of why it is such a red flag if they don't.
You know what's kind of funny about the NBA draft, and it's kind of like an arbitrary thing, but it makes sense to all sports fans. It's like, where was McDaniels picked?
Like 28, something like that.
Like you could pick I don't care guy at 28.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
You know what's funny is we all justify whatever based on some silly order. Like, oh, he sells cocaine on the side, huh? Well, you could do that in the second round.
Yeah, that's fine.
You could do that in the second round.
Yeah,
sure. You get him in, explain the law to him, and clean that up. Toot sweet.
Right. There are tiers at which point you're willing to add the quality or level of misdemeanor that you're willing to
exactly.
scrap.
You can take. I don't think he cares, guy at that level. I mean, it's. If you want to kind of parlay a semi-jazz conversation, I mean, it's the reason that you can get Kyle Filipowski or Isaiah Collier where the Jazz were able to get them. Mm-hmm. Guys with kind of fundamental flaws that may drum them out of the league, or they might find other ways to contribute, or it might be a huge success story. You never know. Well, at the end of the first round or beginning of the second, you could take those guys.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not? But can you take Darren Peterson numero uno when the care factor is super low? It worked with Kyrie.
Right.
And is the care factor super low, or is the care factor kind of misdirected? And is that a red flag?
Is it misread?
Because he cares about him and what he perceives his future, which, again, I'm not going to fault anybody for looking out for number one, but the way it manifests itself is not exactly I'm excited to be a member of the team kind of thing.
And teams do a bad job of that. I mean, look, in retrospect, Ace Bailey probably should have been the 5th pick. Now, if you look at how well Cooper Flagg has played, Dylan Harper is still very much up in the air, so maybe Dylan Harper shouldn't have been 2. But VJ has been great in Philly, and Con Knippel's going to win Rookie of the Year, I think. So if you were to go back, you'd say, wow, the teams really did a good job scouting before the draft. But at the same time, why Ace Bailey fell to 5 was the wrong reason Ace Bailey fell to 5.
From whose perspective? Because Charlotte was always going to take Knippel.
I think they were always going to take Knippel.
That was always going to be a thing.
But Philly not taking Ace, who has the superior physical tools, probably to everybody in the draft outside of Cooper Flagg. He's the best physical specimen, super young and raw, but probably should have gone 3 overall, and I think would have in most drafts had he just executed his pre-draft process more traditionally. But he didn't.
Why didn't he want to go to Philly?
We still do not know what the Omar Cooper stuff was. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I would also buy Philly, pick between two great players and picked Edgecombe.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Jerry Sloan picked Darren Williams.
Sure,
you know what
it
I
is
mean?
very possible. It's possible
So-
that even had Ace come in and worked out, they would have still taken BJ.
Yeah,
We don't know.
'cause-
It's a hypothetical.
Because Charlotte was always going to take the Duke guy. You have to understand the dynamics there.
Right.
They really lucked out that the Duke guy is
He
awesome.
rules, yeah.
It's great. And that Duke obviously underperformed last year.
But I think using some historical indicators of size being the primary deciding factor, and that VJ was a good college player, but was certainly not an elite college player. Ace might have had a chance to jump up.
VJ was all conference though, right?
I don't remember.
I think he was.
He was a mixed bag. Certainly had some great moments, had some really bad moments. But same with Ace, same with every freshman.
Yeah, you never know. And by the way, I'm not saying that Ace Bailey can't be better than VJ Edgecombe.
No, of course not. No, we're 60 games into these guys' careers.
Yeah.
We have no idea.
Get Ace, on the regiment. Get him enhancing the already dynamic skills.
Yeah. Let his body through.
I think the best thing that Ace has shown this year is that he is a team guy.
Yeah,
That he
his
is
buy, his give a darn is there.
Yeah,
which was a question.
It is 1,000% there.
Right. And then if we talked to the Rutgers writer last year, and he said there's no question about his give a darn. He really cares. He likes his teammates. He plays hard. And if you watch the film, I think you saw that. Like, you saw him playing hard, but there was just some always like, where is his mind? Where is he locked in? And to bring this back full circle, I don't think you've ever had that question about A.J. DeBonsa once. You know exactly where his mindset is at all times. He wants to win. He wants to kill you, and he seems to like his teammates. That's a really, really positive thing.
Ace is definitely not a selfish player, but it doesn't appear to be a kind of selfish person.
Agreed.
He might have had that rap, or people might have thought that. I certainly don't think that's the
It's
case.
not Ace above all else.
Well,
He's not a prima donna.
He
for
came in
sure.
and wanted to fit into the locker room. And it's not exactly a vet-dominated locker room.
No.
He came in wanting to, figure out how to find a role on the team.
Yep.
As opposed to kicking in the door like fingernails and
demanding.
And telling everybody how dirty the locker room is and what
you know
terrible
what?
people they are.
After the team sacrificed an entire season to draft him, he could have done that.
Probably.
He easily could have done that.
Yeah. So I think it's a good sign on his front
Agreed.
that his buy-in factor is quite high. All right. Stay tuned. Top 3 stories of the day. KSLSports.com. Coming up next is Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is amazing, Ben. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Usually we have Armpit up in the studio in his show, which we watch but don't listen to.
Uh-huh.
Today we have Arizona State, Iowa State.
That's how A.J. Hawk also watches the...
Zinger.
he's watching. He's not listening to anything.
So remember when Utah State sent that women's basketball coach to host a press conference after being fired, and that was just such a terrible idea? This is Bobby Hurley's potentially last game as Arizona's head coach, Arizona
his last
State's
game.
head coach.
Yeah.
Well, if they lose,
They're going to lose to Iowa State.
then this will be his last game as head coach at Arizona State. Do you think he's going to do something really rash? Like the leash is off. Bobby Hurley, is he going to? Will his
I would
behavior?
hate to think that he's been performing like the leash is on with his behavior.
That's the fear.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
You
what
think
he's going to?
There's more dog in him?
I just think he's going to be like, well, I can lose my mind and get fired now. Like,
Yeah, what's the big deal?
I can rough up the scorekeeper.
He should be trying to get his next job if he can get one. So
Well, that's his next job. This job's got to end.
scorekeeper's his next job?
Though this job has got to end with some sort of fury, right?
Okay.
What did our friend Kyle Gunther say once? I'm not going to go out like no punk.
Yeah. Well, and he didn't.
And he did not.
Yeah.
No, he did not. Top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials, J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start?
Number 1, Jordan Clarkson is in town. The Jazz hosting the Knicks tonight.
Jazz shorthanded. Again, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like. But for sure, no Jaren Jackson Jr., Lowry Markkanen, and Walker Kessler, the usual suspects, the no's. And then questionable, Keontae George, John Conchar, also questionable. Blake Hinson out. He's with the Stars after hitting a game-winning 3 in the last outing. But he did have 34 last night for the Stars in a comeback victory.
Did Maddie get your request
Which was?
for the night off tonight?
For what?
Well, I'm assuming you're going to the Knicks game as a fan.
As a fan. I got my Jordan Clarkson jersey.
Bing bong.
I'm assuming you're going to be sitting next to Spyro and Tony Jones is flying in, and
Rooting
you
for the
guys are
Knicks.
going to put on your Knicks foam fingers and go to town.
The
you
Knicks
excited?
have been struggling lately. Yeah, I do like watching the Knicks play, actually.
You do not know what he does.
Ben's wearing his Jalen Brunson socks.
Yeah, I do. I got my. Does he have a nickname? I don't know if he has a nickname. Knicks have been struggling. They've lost 3 out of 4, including back-to-back losses, blowout losses against the 2 LA teams. I mean, they lost by 13 to the Lakers, but let that one get away pretty early. Did lose close to the Thunder. Did beat the Knicks in between, beat the Nuggets in between, beat them by 40. So, little all over the place, this Knicks team.
Jordan Clarkson isn't even playing, right?
He plays like 3 minutes a game.
Isn't that the story that the adjustment that old Mike Brown's made to the rotation is taking Jordan Clarkson out of it?
They've gone more Landry Shamet over Jordan Clarkson.
You know what's interesting in sports and head coaches and all this stuff is the pendulum swing. You know, where you go from Tom Thibodeau somehow to Mike Brown. And like you couldn't have the University of Utah did this. They went from Rick Majerus, who was one way, and they hired a up-tempo style hippie from the Northwest. You know?
Yep.
They famous for Rick Majerus, hard-nosed discipline, all this stuff. Grind it out, slow it down, play defense, shot selection, all the stuff Utah became known for. And they hired basically the Washington equivalent of Mike D'Antoni at the time.
Right.
And it's like, why can't you just settle
I do think that's
somewhere in the middle,
I
you
think
know?
the herky-jerkiness of it is hard.
I do
think
too.
players probably struggle to adjust to that, especially when there was so much carryover in your roster, which the Knicks had a ton of carryover from last season.
Well, no, their star player probably marched into the front office, Leon Rose, and said, I'm the coach now. So you're going to get rid of this Thibodeau character who thinks he's the coach, and you're going to hire somebody that is less wanting to coach.
With the caveat that you have to keep my dad employed.
The caveat that my dad has to keep having a job.
Keeps his job.
Because he's not the problem. Anyway, it's the Knicks. Bad franchises are going to make bad decisions. Even ones who made a good decision, apparently, in hiring Leon Rose. They're still going nowhere. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see Jordan Clarkson back, I suppose.
Yeah, among former Jazz players still in the NBA, maybe the most deserving of a, what do they call that, fan appreciation video?
Nope.
Tribute?
The tribute?
No. We got to put an end to that for everybody. And
You think nobody gets it?
Nobody gets it? Absolutely not.
I like
we
the
got to
rule,
be done.
either nobody gets it or you got to be really, really selective.
Nope. Sorry, Jordan, but it's got to be over.
Former Sixth Man of the Year, only Jazz player to win Sixth Man of the Year award.
Listen, I don't know when they started this stupid trend of videos. I don't know. But players move around way too much now to be wasting your time with any sort of this. What were the Jazz anyway, Jordan? They were his third team? Fourth team? Third team.
Third team. Lakers, Cavs, Jazz.
So, I mean, come on. People around here love Jordan Clarkson because he had a great personality and he actually fit into the team right where they needed, right when he got here and all the things. But was he Karl Malone? No, he was not. And even I would say Karl coming back with the Lakers. You're on the Lakers. You don't get a tribute video.
Sure.
Pal?
Yeah. All right. If you're going to do absolutely scorched earth, nobody gets one, I think that's fine.
Zero.
Honestly, I subscribe to that.
Didn't George Niang somehow get one?
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm with you.
Come on.
I'm with you.
It's over.
I definitely think we do too many. I think I would have a slightly larger allowance than you do, but if you want to go totally none, totally zero, that's fine.
You know remember the Stonecutters episode of The Simpsons? Mm-hmm. Where they've decided once Homer got in that everybody's getting in now, and then they formed the No Homers Club. You know what I mean? Remember?
Just move the goalposts.
Once George Niang hit, okay, they're just doing this for everybody.
For everybody.
Now. So let's just
move on.
Let's just cease the practice entirely.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I do. I think that's totally fair. We've ruined it for everybody. George Niang, once again, ruined it for everybody.
Ruined it for everybody.
Thanks, George.
Way to go, pal. Who was the two-way UCLA guy who was here for 3 years? Why am I blinking? Johnny Juzang. Isn't he with the T-Wolves now?
Yep.
Did he get a tribute video?
I don't think so.
All right, what's next?
Number 2, how about Bam Adebayo, huh? 83 points.
Insane. Honestly crazy. I did watch the fourth quarter of the game. I took note when he had 31 in the first quarter. And the funniest thing was, do you know what's the most points in the first quarter ever of an NBA game?
No.
You would never guess it. The same way you would never guess that Bam Adebayo has the second highest scoring game. Do you know, Christian? Did you see this graphic? Kevin Love scored 34 points, and not Minnesota Timberwolves Kevin Love. Cleveland Cavaliers Kevin Love scored 34 points in the first quarter of a game in like 2016. I have totally erased this memory from my life. I remember his 30-30 game when he was with the Timberwolves, but no, I do not remember the 34-point first quarter. And a lot of people, though, are trying to disregard Bam Adebayo's 83 last night because of the lunacy that was involved in how he got there, which included fouling Wizards players fouling other Miami Heat players so Bam wouldn't get the ball, triple teaming him because he started playing point guard. He was just hoisting threes. It was a clown show. Make no mistake, I watched it. But I don't feel bad for the Wizards. Wizards, this is what you want. You want to be teed off on. You're trying to lose every game. Credit Miami and Bam for going out and saying, you want to be a golf ball? I'll be a driver, and I'm just going to smack you around. I think that's totally fair.
I thought everything about it was gross, and I'm not going to even count it.
Why?
All the reasons you just said. The Wizards are an unserious team who are trying to lose. They are intentionally trying to lose. We saw the Jazz accidentally beat the Wizards. And
Bam did not score 83 in that game.
That part by itself is kind of gross and somewhat disqualifying. Then the way that they played was super gross, and leaving him in and all this cheap theatric crap designed to manufacture a point outcome, not to mention taking 43 free throws. Get out of here. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear about it. You know what? Kobe's was kind of gross.
It was absolutely gross.
If
There's
you
nothing
go back,
about Kobe's that was authentic
if you go
either.
back and look at it, and I said it at the time about Kobe's, I'm not counting that.
Okay. If that's
and
what
I
you want to
wasn't
throw
alive
out.
when Will did it, but his was probably fake too.
They did exactly what is happening right now.
Everything about that 83 was totally fake. I'm disregarding all of it.
Wilt's
I think it was gross.
Was also the same thing. They were fouling to get him to the free throw line. Then they put in all of their other players, I believe, on Wilt's teammates so they could foul to get the ball back so their starters wouldn't foul out. Kobe's was the same way. Kobe was up 20 against a miserable Raptors team that finished with 27 wins on the season before this level of tanking existed, but was 1-15 to start the season. That was not a competitive Raptors team.
And it was overtime, too,
that he
wasn't
scored
it?
81. I don't think it was overtime, but still, he scored 81 on a miserable team. That is the formula. You have to have a great player playing against a terrible team, and then the team has to manufacture it. Do you remember when we were young, David Robinson scored 70 to win the scoring title over Shaq? Exact same thing happened. They left him in, they were fouling, they were trying to get him there. So as far as authentic scoring outings go, the truth is I don't think you can probably break 60 all that authentically. We've seen a couple of guys get to 70 recently. Joel did it. Donovan did it. You can maybe get to 70 with some level of authenticity. You can't get to 80 without it. So the fact that he did get to 83, I'm fine with it as long as you understand that every single one of these has to have this happen to get to 83 points.
Oh, well, then we should stop paying attention to it. I agree. There's not a coach alive on the planet that wants Bam Adebayo taking 43 shots.
Spo did. Spo left him in last night to get it.
Because they were playing against an unserious team.
They were. But
who they were going to beat regardless.
You know what I do love, honestly? And the Miami Heat, I was watching the game, the Miami Heat announcer said, he's got 81. They're going to check him out in honor of Kobe. And Spo said, nope. And Bam said, nope, we're going to let him beat it. Go beat the record. Why, if you were that close, would you tie Kobe? Why are we crystallizing this like it's not something that can ever be touched?
Why are we still talking about this?
Because 83 is going to go down in history. We're always going to talk.
Who cares? In honor of Kobe and all this stuff, it's fake.
I'm with you. I think that's fair.
It's like Bill Goldberg winning his 30th match in a row. Fake from us, false, not to be taken seriously.
The Wizards were trying to stop him, and he still found a way to get it done.
Sure they were.
I enjoyed it.
You know what else was fake? Was Kobe's whatever against the Jazz on his last game.
That was the most inauthentic I've ever seen.
I know everybody romanticizes it.
Yeah.
Now because of his passing, and I totally understand that.
But they did at the time as well.
But it was the fakest thing you've ever seen in your entire life, and that Jazz team was unserious at the time.
Last game of the season, Gordon Hayward not playing, 50 shots to get 60 points. Yeah, exactly right. You have to falsify the way your game plan to generate these types of numbers.
I'm not taking it seriously. In fact, I don't like it.
I love it. I was thrilled about it.
I'm sure you are.
And we will get to celebrate it. It's one of the great historical performances of all time.
It's not, though.
And it's how we're going to remember it. It's all, and the funniest person for it to happen
It's
to.
not how I'm remembering it, and it's not how I remembered Kobe's either.
Well, you are going to be standing outside yelling at clouds.
It's not my fault that I'm the smartest guy in the room.
Correct.
Russ.
Ask Russ.
Russ told me. It's not my fault. It's maddening, in fact. All right.
What's next?
That's it.
Number 3,
Ugh.
Utah Mammoth closed their road trip with a loss. But hey, breaking news before the show, right at the beginning of the show, Nick Schmaltz gets paid.
Got absolutely hammered last night by the Wild. Second night of a back-to-back, 5th game of a 5-game road trip against a good team that's hungry. I think that's a little understandable. We'll see how they bounce back. But yes, Nick Schmaltz, who there was some speculation he'd get traded at the deadline because he was set to become an unrestricted free agent. They did not trade him, which led to further speculation that they were going to work out a deal to sign him, and they did. 8 years, $64 million. A big payday. There's some high-priced players now on this roster between Cooley, Gunther, Schmaltz, Keller, Paterka, bringing in Uyghur. Like they've got some players that are getting paid. We'll see how this continues to manage, but the nice thing is they do have a bunch of young players still coming up the pipeline.
I'll tell you what. One, the previous owner of the franchise must just be broke.
Yeah.
2,
Yes, he was.
because you know what, good for Ryan. You can say, oh, good for Ryan Smith and the Mammoth for investing in the team or whatever. Dude, these hockey contracts, 8 years and $64 million, that's nothing.
It's not. Yeah.
That's nothing. I mean, really, the best thing Gary Bettman's ever done as a commissioner was going on lockout for a year and a half. I mean, the CBA is so unbelievably friendly. I would imagine if you didn't get a haul for Schmaltz at the deadline, we'll lock him up.
Yeah,
why not?
right.
He's a good player. So invest the money. And I guess you only have so much money to go around with the salary cap, but this is not like baseball where, can you afford to have a $300 million a year payroll, or can you not? I mean, you can invest in a player for 8 years.
I do think also because of the depth of your minor league, clubs, you can get off of money. You can find, especially if they're good enough players. You don't want to get stuck with a truly terrible contract, but you can move guys with young players if you decide that, hey, somebody's overpaid on this roster and we've got to move on. And again, because they have all these young players coming up, ideally they can step in and replace some of these expensive players as they come through. So I probably smart to just continue to invest in the team. And obviously they're the best they've been and are going to make a strong push to the playoffs. So congrats to Schmaltzy.
Stay tuned. We'll have more straight ahead. It's Jake and Ben. We've got our buddy Mike Smith joining us at the top of the 11 o'clock hour. What you got Wednesday at 11:30. Stay tuned. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Mike Smith joins us coming up in the very next segment, but it is a Win Ticket Wednesday. Be caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. Win a pair of lower bowl seats to see the Mammoth take on the Chicago Blackhawks coming up tomorrow, March 12th at 7 o'clock at the Delta Center. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. All right, Ben. I'm going to combine two things. I'm going to try to do this really quickly because we've got Mike coming up next.
Okay.
But I got my kids to bed last night, and I had like at least a brief period to myself to watch what I wanted to on TV.
Okay.
And you know what I selected? The Tim Donaghy Netflix doc. I don't know why I was drawn to it. I've seen it before, but it was years ago. But I decided to watch it again. Now, the part I kind of memory hold, I guess, was the part about the NBA's reaction to it. Do you remember much? Have you seen the doc? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have not.
And like most Netflix docs, it's very one-sided and paints the picture they want to paint. But nevertheless.
And Tim Donaghy is involved in it?
He is. And so is the go-between, and so's the bookie, essentially.
Uh-huh.
So when it was initially found out, the FBI came to Tim and talked to him about it, he had agreed to roll on the rest of it because there were other refs, according to Tim, again. And the NBA's reaction is he's a convicted felon. Why would you believe him? And yeah, there you go. But according to him, there were other refs that were gambling. Not necessarily, he didn't say fixing games, but like gambling. And refs aren't supposed to gamble at all.
Right.
And he talked about all these shenanigans, which are really interesting within the reffing circles, like little internal bets, like whoever blows the whistle on the first foul has to buy dinner.
Yeah.
And these vendettas that they all defend each other, like Steve Javie got in a thing with Allen Iverson.
Right.
And they decided to call the carry on Allen Iverson the very next game, which turned out to be against the Jazz. And so all these personal things that you suspect happen, they 1,000% do. Anyway, he was going to flip and was going to cooperate with the FBI. The FBI then made the mistake. Well, I guess if you believe this is a mistake, but the FBI looped in the NBA. And then remember what, and this is David's turn at the time. Remember what happened right after they looped into the NBA? They leaked it to the media. And what leaking it did, and this is crazy savvy if you buy into this whole storyline. What leaking it did was allow the NBA to say, this is the one and only person who's doing this. And as a result, they put the brakes on the investigation by the feds. The feds couldn't do their undercover sting operation because Donaghy was public now.
Right.
So it put the brakes on the entire investigation. So the FBI ceased looking into the to the entire thing. So by doing that, Stern actually put the lid on what could have been.
By leaking it, he abbreviated the investigation.
He stopped the damage.
He basically created a true scapegoat.
Right. And at the same time also hired a law firm to do an investigation into the whole thing. Ben, any idea what law firm?
Who was it?
Watchell, Lipton, Rosen, and Katz.
Okay.
Any idea
who are they?
What they're doing currently for the NBA?
What are they doing?
Looking into Mr. Kawhi Leonard.
Interesting.
So this law firm came back and said, it was only this Tim guy.
It was only one man.
It was only this Tim
Lone
guy.
wolf.
And strangely, with the FBI off the scent, that's how it happened.
It closed.
It closed. It's over.
Yeah.
That period is over. Compared to and I know we've got Mike coming up. I'm sorry. But compared to the Kawhi situation with the Clippers, Pablo Torre's latest thing is he got a hold of a sheet from an original whistleblower to the feds that alleged all of Aspiration, all of the ways that they were committing fraud.
Right. The reason that matters is because it's under penalty of perjury. And this is under oath.
And it kicked off all the investigation that resulted in people going to jail. But amongst the allegations of fraud from this whistleblower was cap circumvention with Kawhi Leonard. And it's interesting that the feds apparently didn't look into it. It's not technically against the law, so maybe that's the reason.
Right.
But it is interesting because this law firm is now hired to investigate it. But I kind of was asking myself, okay, what's different? Why wouldn't Adam Silver be able to make this go away like David Stern did? Or maybe Adam Silver's the one leaking it to Pablo Torre in the first place. But my theory is that with a gambling ring, you're working with criminals.
Yeah.
Criminals don't really blow the whistle to the feds. Aspiration was a legitimate company, and apparently the people who are blowing the whistle on all of this are just it's like the CFO, or it's not the CFO, but it's somebody that's like the accountants and stuff that are just normal people and are like, I'm not comfortable in breaking this law.
Yeah.
They're the ones that really got the ball rolling on all of this. So I wonder if you hired this law firm too late and now the cat's out of the bag. And you should have been on this
earlier,
a long time ago to really make it go away. Or B, it just can't go away because you can't possibly put a lid on it. It's civilians.
I think that's part of it. I also think when it comes to a ref or all of the refs in the NBA, because that becomes a league-wide thing, you want to quash it earlier than you do if it might actually be an individual situation where only the Clippers are circumventing the cap. So there's no real motivation to try and squash it league-wide because it's not a league-wide problem, whereas the refs really could have been the entire integrity of the NBA was up for grabs.
And by the way, Pablo had some former front office guy from Major League Baseball on his podcast, and he said that these law firms, like this particular one, how they market themselves is by every situation that they handle, the outcome is what's best for the client.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yep.
That's how they market it.
That's their thing.
So like the law firm that made the Utah swim scandal go away, used that to market to other people in similar situations. Like Utah.
We're fixers.
Utah got through with it. That's their purpose.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mike Smith's next. Sorry for being late, Mike. More next, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson
1, 2, 3, move it.
on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. We're teaming up with Beehive Meals, honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteers for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at kslsports.com/contest, and listen every Thursday to JJ and Alex for the winner. It's the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week.
We have not talked about one of the weirdest stories, and I know we got Mike Smith coming up here momentarily, but the Ravens backing out of the Maxx Crosby deal only to sign Trey Hendrickson, another huge defensive end, to step in and then hold on to their 2 first-round draft picks is one of the funnier things we have seen. Totally dirty play, dirty pool by the Ravens, but man, you got to do, I guess, what's best for your team, and they're doing it. I do wonder what happens with the Raiders, and Lloyd's in there, after signing like $200 million worth of players, and now they're stuck with Maxx Crosby again.
Apparently they have the cap room to do it all.
They can, and they'll probably still trade him.
Here's the thing, dirty pool.
Absolutely. One of the weirder things I've seen.
Dirty pool. This is, I always wondered when the Jazz swindled the Cavs and got Carlos Boozer. I always wondered if that would cost them being able to make a move in the future.
Goodwill, yeah.
And lo and behold, they could never get off AK's contract. Mm-hmm. They tried mightily for literally years and could never get off of his contract. I just wonder if that sort of thing polices itself. Because why would you make a big trade with the Ravens if they're going to do that? I mean, they screwed the Raiders for sure. I mean, even if they can do it all, the Raiders had a market for Maxx Crosby and made a decision and took your deal. And if you do this, I don't know. I would wonder if it affects their ability to make big transactions in the future. Are you going to risk it? And now the Cowboys, the reports out there about the Cowboys who were interested are like, well, maybe not now. Yeah. He's hurt.
Right, yeah. If there's something wrong with him, we don't want him.
And I do love the whole disguise of he failed a physical because he had work done in January, right? They're well aware of what's going on with Maxx Crosby, but you're saying that he gets in the doctor's office and you're like, oh, we didn't know about this. Sure you didn't. Who was the...
No, and it all happened because Trey Hendrickson thought he had deals with other teams and all of those fell through.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, well, I'll take a reduced price. And the Ravens said, well, we can afford you at that price. And we can afford you and keep 2 first-round picks and get similar production.
Right. They're going to do it. Who was my favorite one of these? Who was the center for the Hornets that got briefly traded to the Lakers? Mark Williams. So Pelinka pulls off that deal. It gets announced. And the blowback from Laker fans is so severe and he's so spineless that they were like, no failed
deal.
the physical. And then Mark Williams played out the rest of the year.
And was fine.
If I'm not mistaken, and was just fine. It's just hilarious to me.
And has played 56 games for the Suns this year, meaning he's missed 7 games, 8 games at this point. Very standard NBA player.
And I actually think the need for the physical is a very serious one. So I'm honestly offended when teams do this sort of thing. Because that's not you knew what Maxx Crosby was coming to the table with. It was very public. There's nothing that you discovered that you didn't know already. And you made the move for him. Mm-hmm. And now something better comes along. You can't just, the physical, failed the physical. We found out he had a hangnail nobody talked about.
Agreed. I don't think there is a lot that goes unknown. You don't pull off this trade if you don't think you have a sense of what type of player he's going to be. Or what his health is going to look like. They didn't find something in this physical that they were not aware of.
Or maybe you just think Mark Davis is such an unserious person you can do whatever you want.
And that's probably part of it. And the Ravens are scrambling. They're move off from Harbaugh, which I don't blame them. I get if you feel like you need to shake up of the status quo, but I'm not sure that franchise is going to be all that easy to take seriously going forward, and probably for the last few years hiding under the umbrella of Harbaugh, who has quite a bit of respect around the NFL. Without him, I wonder if they lose that entirely.
What about Lamar?
Mixed bag. I love him as a player. I wish they performed better in the playoffs or in the biggest games, and we have not seen that.
I love it that he doesn't have an agent.
Yeah, that's cool. And speaking of which, today he reworked his contract to free up $40 million for the Ravens.
He's either the smartest guy in the world or the dumbest guy in the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because didn't Ricky Williams try to do something similar in Stein? No. Ricky Williams hired Master P. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And negotiated the world's worst contract with his rookie deal with the Saints.
Yeah.
Just terrible. Mike Ditka fleeced him.
Whatever happened to all those guys who chose to get their NBA contracts paid in Bitcoin? I'm always curious. How did that work out for you guys?
That was the NBA.
Yeah,
it was a dude with the Nets.
Yeah,
I thought you said, I'm sorry.
No, Clay, Andre Iguodala did it. Who was the guard that played for the Nets and played for the Mavericks? Is bounced all over. Yeah, we've seen that from a couple of players. Spencer Dinwiddie. Good pull.
Well, could be genius. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it went from like $30,000 to $100,000 per Bitcoin. So some of those guys may have made a ton of money, but some of those guys may have also taken a bath.
It's the people that got paid in those ape drawings that I feel bad
That was
for.
exclusively Rudy Gobert.
What was that all about? That fad that came and went?
What were those called? NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
It's like a orangutan eating a banana, and all of a sudden it's worth $1 zillion.
Just like an AI slop monkey eating a banana photo, and Rudy was like, I'm buying 10 of these, each of them for $8 million, and I'm going to hold on to this original image that nobody else can. It's like, it's literally a JPEG. We can screenshot it. We all own the exact same thing. He's like, yeah, but it's on the blockchain. Sorry, Rudy. That's not worth any money. Poor Rudy getting swindled by the blockchain.
You know, there's
They
always
saw him coming from 1,000 miles away.
You know, we've broken down this concept before on the show that there's nothing new in the world. You know, the world may change technologically, but we're all just encountering the same problems over and over again. I was talking about Pete's Dragon with Coach Lacombe the other day. And you know, the bad guy in that is the dude who goes from town to town in that wagon selling snake oil. I mean, whatever. The tonic.
Yeah.
And just shaking people down.
The Music Man.
And you know, honestly, how do you know if that tonic is? It could be the discovery of penicillin.
Yeah.
Or it could be water out of the lake.
Yeah.
It's rough. Like, hey, could be the next great thing, this NFT, or it could be
water out of the lake.
Just a JPEG of a chimpanzee
holding a banana.
That's
exactly what it was.
I'll just keep investing in restaurant gift cards and putting them in my drawer.
Yeah.
I'm leveraged high with Chili's these days.
And some guys may, honestly, looking back at when, not that I follow Bitcoin all that closely, but Spencer Dinwiddie got his money in 2019, like, it has really skyrocketed since then. Actually, Bitcoin has really gone up since then. That was probably a smart decision on Spencer Dinwiddie's part. And, you look back at the guy who apparently bought a pizza one time with 10 Bitcoin, which, Bitcoin is worth $80,000 each or $90,000 each. So somebody at one point spent $800,000 in today's dollars on a pizza as a bit of a joke, not realizing that Bitcoin was going to be worth this much money. But in some ways it may work. But yes, you also may end up being Rudy Gobert, who probably lost maybe tens of millions of dollars on monkey JPEGs.
Honestly, I gotta say, I just don't care what players do with their money.
No,
I mean,
of course not.
Allen Iverson bought a new outfit every place he went because he didn't like luggage.
Yeah, I don't want players to go broke. Just it hurts me personally. It hurts my soul to see guys have so much and then lose so much because it generally ends up, not leading to great lifestyles. And I would root for these players to end up having a good second half and third act of their life, but I'm with you. You just can't pay attention to it.
So you must watch those eugenics commercials and see those guys in that and think, wow,
really got made.
You really mishandled your money, didn't you?
Those guys, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no offense to the good folks at eugenics.
Sure.
I'm sure you sell a fine product. But to be able to stand up there and be Frank Thomas and be the face of that particular product,
yeah,
like, It didn't go well after you got done, did it?
Yeah, that failed.
that didn't go so hot. Yeah. I'll tell you what, we were talking about Kawhi and cap circumvention and all that stuff. Larry Miller hooking up John and Carl with car dealerships was a real great thing for them.
That was a coup.
Yeah, that was a real coup. That
for a while, those dealerships were apparently making $1 million a year, which, considering John might have made $12 million a year once in his career, maybe twice at the very end. But yeah, having that type of money forever. I mean, that's the Magic Johnson 30-year contract that he signed, or the Bobby Bonilla. Is that the infamous contract? Yeah. That really worked out for those players. Good for Larry for being proactive at a time when the NBA wasn't policing it that well.
You know what? If you want to look at a true cool story along these lines, who was the center? The center who had mental health problems? Luther Wright.
Luther Wright, yeah.
And it became obvious after not even a season that it wasn't going to work out. Larry stretched his contract to a lifetime contract. Mm-hmm. I think he still gets compensated to this day, if I'm not wrong.
Is Luther Wright still alive? Looks like he's still alive.
Yeah. So that actually, if you look into it, is a really cool story.
Yeah.
All right. What's the story with Mike Christian?
$153,000 a year for Luther Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. For 25 years.
Yeah, way cool story.
Yeah, good for him.
Mike Smith is busy getting a facial.
Okay.
And
he's gonna be on TV tonight.
He's bumped us, is what he's done. He's bumped us. Mike is going to now come on at 12:30, which is going to still be us because we're doing the first hour of Scotty G and Friends.
Correct.
So we hope Mike enjoys his facial. I mean, he couldn't do it on speakerphone, so we're going to move him to 12:30.
Great.
You into facials? You're not going to answer? Are you embarrassed?
Click.
Is it a yes?
I'm trying to look at this updated Utah Jazz injury report.
You do like facials. I've never had one. Christian?
No, where do you get one? Like the spa?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Ben does 2-3 days at the spa. That's why
I bet it feels nice.
His hands are so nicely manicured.
John Conchar officially out tonight.
Wow. Do you know what mix you use? Do you know what you prefer? Is it mud? Just a lot of silence. I'm surprised you're so ashamed of it. I wouldn't be.
Let's get a group facial going.
Oh, let me ask you this: like those eugenics guys, how bad off financially would you have to be to start endorsing facials?
What you got Wednesday coming up next? Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What you got Wednesday? What's the deal? Jake's got rules, Ben's out to steal. Bozo takes their spinning around. Flush it down, flush it down.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Thank you for making us a part of your day. It's time for What You've Got Wednesday. If you're new to the show, it's where Ben and I go head-to-head in 2 5-selection drafts, one sports-related, one not, and then we throw it out to the listeners on the Snap Talk for a vote. What happened last week?
Jake, you got smoked last week. I think that's the second week in a row, actually. Best 76ers of all time, Ben won 85-15.
I'll take it.
Best second acts of child stars, Ben won 74-26.
That's incorrect. I won both the week before, but thanks for remembering, Christian.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. What is our sports-related topic today?
Okay, today, best individual sports performances.
In honor of Bam Adebayo.
Garbage. All right, so I get the first pick. Is there an obvious one?
I don't think there is.
I'm going to go with one that's unpopular around here, but people know it. The flu game, Michael Jordan.
Definitely have it on my list. 38 points. Sick in an era where teams scored 90 points in finals games. Yeah, putting up that many points
poisoned by the pizza guy.
On the road after getting poisoned.
After a stiff poisoning.
Yeah.
We ever figure out what he used?
He said he didn't poison it. A lot of people think Jordan was in Vegas the night before, partying.
I think it was the poison. But the official explanation was the flu.
Yeah, he just got sick. And it happens. Or he was faking it to wamboozle the Utah Jazz, which is also part of it. All right. I don't know if there's an obvious number 2. I think that might be. I'll just go with Wilt, 100 points, I guess. It's just the photo is infamous. Nobody has any context of it because the game was not televised. So unless you've looked at the box score and realized the shenanigans of some of the play-by-play or retelling of the people who were there, we don't really realize that it was so bizarre to get him to 100 points and somewhat fake. But Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a game, and probably a number that I don't think will ever be broken.
God, I don't know. Let's see. How about I'm going to be bad at this, but
This
do
is
you
a hard
remember?
one.
Do you remember Tiger's first Masters with a record 18 under par? He won by 12 strokes, apparently.
Just ran away with it. Yeah, it wasn't close. It was bizarre to see how he was playing.
In 1997, yeah, and it was just absolutely storming onto the scene.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
I think that's totally fair. I will go with... I'm going to go with a famous game. We see it every year now, and it's also a meme. I'm going to go Randy Moss, 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, 163 yards on Thanksgiving. 70-yard touchdowns. Those were the only 3 catches of the game, and every single one of them was an absolutely explosive play. So give me Randy Moss, 3 catches, 3 touchdowns on Thanksgiving.
I'm going to try and mix in some local stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Joe Williams' game against UCLA for the Utes in 2016, where he ran the ball for 332 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Utes had brought him back. He was on the couch. He had quit the team.
Yeah.
Utah had a bunch of injuries. He comes back, and in a weird game that ended 52-45, where Utah's defense was non-existent, they got maybe the best performance a running back has had at Utah in Utah history.
I don't think there's any question that was the best performance. And, man, what a just not disastrous season, but bizarre season. And Utah had not quite found its footing yet in the Pac-12. And, yeah, leaving the team and coming back. And there was issues with, did he lose his sister? It was just kind of a horrible story. And to come back in and put that together was bizarre, but exciting, certainly if you were watching that game as a Utah fan. All right, I'm going to go with a very recent example. Some people think it's the greatest baseball game ever played. Remember, was it last year? Shohei, in the Game 4 of the NLCS, 10 strikeouts and 3 home runs in the same game. We're not seeing two-way players at all in baseball anymore, so to have 10 strikeouts and 3 home runs in 3 at-bats was truly absurd. Give me Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. But what did he make on Indonesian soccer that night?
Yeah. What you don't know is he also made $4 million gambling that same evening. Really pushes it over the top.
All right, Ben, I'm going to go with a quarterback performance from one Tyrone Detmer.
Okay.
Who completed 38 of 50.
Oh, you're not doing the interceptions in the NFL.
38 of 54 passing for 406 yards and 3 touchdowns to beat number 1 ranked Miami.
Okay.
At LaVell Edwards Stadium.
How many yards did you say?
406.
Decent game.
Gino Torretta's Miami.
Decent game.
Maybe the best win in BYU history. I'd have to go back and look at it. It's got to be close. How many times has BYU beat the number 1 ranked team?
Yeah.
It's amazing they got him to come play.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In Provo. That's pretty wild. But going with that one.
Okay. This is my 4th pick, Christian. All right. I'm going to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Game 6 of the NBA Finals closes it out. 50 points, 14 rebounds. If you have an issue with Bam Adebayo scoring 83 last night and it being inauthentic, you can't get more authentic than 50 points in the finals in Game 6 of a closeout game. That was awesome. They were down 2-0 to the Suns and stormed back, winning 4 straight. And Giannis had as good, coming off of that horrible hyperextended knee in the previous series. That was one of the coolest performances I've ever seen. Giannis was, at that point, the greatest player on the earth, delivering at the biggest moment.
All right, and my last one, and there's a couple I could go with, but I mean, anytime somebody playing for BYU gets a standing ovation at the Huntsman Center, memorable. Jimmer Fredette.
Mr. Jimmer.
Scored 47 points in 35 minutes as the Cougs beat the Utes at the Huntsman Center. What was the date here? January 11th of 2011.
One of the few sports moments of my life where everyone in the state of Utah remembers where they were when that happened. Because it was all over Sports Center, still at kind of the peak of Sports Center, being like, we're leading with this. You got the highlights coming in. They're going to talk about it. You're going to replay it over and over.
Jimmermania
at its peak, and then
hit a half-court shot.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was a perfect performance from Jimmer Fredette. Absolutely.
So there you go, Jimmer.
All right, I'll go with kind of a famous one, and I'm not even going human. I'm going Secretariat wins the
Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby by 31 lengths, right? Just,
my old man was on the infield for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually,
it was the Belmont Stakes. It wasn't even the
Kentucky Derby.
Yeah,
no,
it wins the Belmont Stakes by 31 lengths. Just, again, to your point of how was Tiger? I didn't even think about it until you mentioned Tiger winning the Masters by 17 strokes or whatever. It's like, oh, yeah, Secretariat was running a different race than everybody else. It's like, he wins, and then the horses start the race.
All right, review.
Jake, you had the number one pick. You went Michael Jordan flu game. Tiger, 18 under par in the Masters. Joe Williams, 332 rush yards. Ty Detmer, 406 yards versus Miami. Jimmer Fredette, 47 points. Ben went Wilt Chamberlain, 100-point game. Randy Moss, 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. Shohei Ohtani, 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. Giannis, 50 points in Game 6, and Secretariat in the Belmont Stakes. I would argue, honorable mention, Adrian Peterson's single-game rushing record, 296 yards.
No Joe Williams.
Reggie Jackson, 3 home runs on 3 pitches in the World Series. Tim Duncan, as they have gone back and looked at it, had a quadruple double in a finals game. I think it was actually a closeout game. He was shorted 2 blocks in the actual game, but if you go back and watch, he did have 10 blocks, so... Quadruple double. There's been like 4 in NBA history, and one of them would have happened by old Tim Duncan in the finals. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, we took a different strategy there. I went with some local ones.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair.
All right, what is our not sports related topic?
Not sports today. We're gonna go with best Disney songs.
Best Disney songs. Disney on Ice was just at the arena.
And last night I watched a documentary called Howard, which is about a guy who wrote a lot of the most famous songs in Disney history. It was a documentary on the Disney Channel. I thought it was kind of interesting. Maybe not as good as I'd hoped, but anyways.
I have the number one pick again. Is there an automatic number one pick?
There is one that I think is the best, and I bet it's pretty close to your heart as well. I
don't think there is an automatic number one, but because I am such a big Lenny Briscoe fan,
this is exactly where I was going to go.
I'm going to go with our guy Jerry Orbach and Be Our Guest.
Absolutely. That song really goes. It has all the high notes. It's kind of the great Disney thing of like everybody's welcome here, right? It incorporates everything they have.
We're talking about a song, but the animation during that whole scene too is just incredible.
And it was Disney at their peak of like, we're going to go out and find Jerry Orbach, who had been a huge stage star, and Angela Lansbury, and like, we're going to get them together and make some real magic. And they did. And this Howard guy wrote that song.
Right.
And it's amazing. And it's cool to see Jerry Orbach performing it. I didn't realize he had been such a huge, huge star on Broadway before he
went to Law and Order.
Before he went to Law and Order.
Or Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, because I knew him as Grumpy Dad or Grumpy Detective, not
Broadway
Richard
star.
Gere in Chicago before Richard Gere won the
All
movie.
right.
All right, I will go with what was number 2. A little frustrated you got Be Our Guest one. Circle of Life, which I think is one of the biggest songs
Sir
they ever
Elton
had.
John.
Sir Elton John. That song did own the planet for a few months there.
All right, my next one. I don't know if it's Disney's biggest hit. I would think it's got to be. But I'm going to go with Let It Go from Frozen in 2013. Idina Menzel is absolutely incredible.
That song did absolutely control the world for a while. Like that was the biggest song on the planet, while
Right.
Frozen was the biggest movie on the planet. So no question about it.
And she was and maybe is currently, I don't know what she's doing, but she is the biggest Broadway star on the planet. I mean,
Certainly
she's
up
amazing.
there. Yep, no question about it.
All right.
All right, I will go with Part of Your World from Little Mermaid.
I like The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
That's a great song. We saw a stage production of that while we were on our cruise.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. She wants to come up and be on land.
Yeah.
She's a fish. She's stuck down there being a mermaid.
I'm going to go with this just to make sure that I get it, because it might legit be my actual favorite song. I'm going with Eye to Eye from the Goofy movie.
I don't even know it's the best Goofy movie song, but that's fine.
You could make an argument for the other one, and I would listen to it, but this one happens to be my favorite.
Yeah. All right. I have a real soft spot for my favorite Disney/Pixar movie of all time, and I'll go with Friend and Me. You've Got a Friend in Me on Toy Story. Randy Newman.
Randy Newman. Okay. Let me think. Now I've got to decide if I'm going to go with to one of two. Let's go with How Far We'll Go from Moana.
Okay. Also not the biggest Moana song.
No, but
your favorite?
Probably my favorite.
Okay. Very fair. I'm going to go also big when they were going out and hiring washed boomers to do big Disney songs. And I'm going to go with Two Worlds by Phil Collins from Hercules. That's a really great song. Two Worlds, One Family. Again, it's kind of the Disney trap of everybody's welcome.
Nothing Phil Collins has ever done is good.
You're not into prog rock Phil Collins?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you'd be a Genesis guy. Walk Like Me?
No.
Oh, okay.
I got to go with this, especially since I just forced my kids to watch it. I'm going to go with Step in Time from Mary Poppins.
Oh, okay. Also not the biggest. You're picking some deep cuts from your
I'm
favorite
passionate
movies.
about my Disney songs.
Yeah, that's
I'm
totally
going
fair.
with my favorites.
Okay.
Old Bert singing Step in Time.
Is this my final pick? All right, I'll go with, not to confuse, with Part of Your World. I'll go with A Whole New World from Aladdin. Also, the crescendo of the movie on the magic carpet, flying around, Aladdin and Jasmine.
Yeah, I
going
get it.
together.
Not the best song, though, from that.
Okay.
I would say. What's the one that Genie sings? That's probably the best.
Yeah.
Never Had a Friend Like Me?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Where do I want to...
You're done.
Oh, I'm done.
You're
okay,
done.
good. Oh, review.
Jake, you had the number one pick. You started off with Be Our Guest, Let It Go, Eye to Eye, How Far We'll Go, and Step in Time. Ben went Circle of Life, Part of Your World, You've Got a Friend in Me, Two Worlds, and A Whole New World.
I think Stand Out from Goofy Movie is better than Eye to Eye, but I get it. Eye to Eye is good. You're Welcome from Moana is probably the one I would have taken.
But the Rock can't sing.
No, he can't.
3 of Ben's selections included the word
The song World. Yeah.
I'm a big Nightmare Before Christmas guy. I think those songs are really good.
Those are great. Yeah. Probably should have gone that direction.
I mean, Angela Lansbury, Beauty and the Beast is the highlight of that movie, I'd say. But
Be Our Guest, I
couldn't-
think, might be their best ever.
Right. I couldn't take 2 from there. I love Bare Necessities.
Yeah.
And I thought of taking the DuckTales theme.
Yeah, if you wanted to go there, we could take that. I thought about Wish Upon a Star.
Oh, yeah, but you have a fascination with Jiminy Cricket.
I do like Jiminy Cricket. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, you're probably right. Could have taken any of the cuts from Nightmare Before Christmas.
All right, we'll put it out on the Snap Talk for a vote. We'll see how it goes. I didn't realize how many Disney songs I truly like.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's been the soundtrack of our life in a lot of ways.
I mean, all of Mary Poppins is a banger, even though I hate that term.
Well,
The new Mary Poppins I was super disappointed in, especially since Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote all the music. I thought, oh, this is going to be
because
potentially
he also
really
wrote
good.
it for Moana, right?
He
And
did.
it
He
was
wrote
very good.
Moana. Yeah. And he wrote Encanto, too. Or Encanto. I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Hakuna Matata.
No, that's a good one. Circle of Life had it covered, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to pick another song off of Lion King after that.
Stay tuned. We'll wrap up Jake and Ben to get you ready for Scotty G and friends who happen to be Jake and Ben. Coming up next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airways, talking sports. They got him made Jake's and also loves his tie-dye. Ben's got style with his scarf. Oh my.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Man, I wish this Iowa State-Arizona State game were closer. Iowa State's up 54-23. I feel like if Robert Hurley was going to really blow his top, it'd have to be a little closer. If he was going to beat up the scorecard, the score guy, it'd have to be like a 5-point game at least.
He would need to have his brother losing last year to... Who did they lose to?
In the tournament where he walked out saying that the refs were going to screw the next team.
They don't screw you, Florida, like they screwed us. Okay.
Yeah. Did you see the side-by-side on TV of Bob and Dan losing their minds at the exact same time?
No.
Like the two games were going on simultaneously. It's where Dan picked up his tech and he got fined and all that. Bob was also losing his mind at the exact same moment.
Who were their parents? What happened? What did you guys do to your kids?
I don't know. Torture?
Yeah, something. Turn into some psycho children.
Well, Bob was a good basketball player.
Yeah.
And then his career was ruined by a car accident?
Did he also have an accident?
He did.
Yeah.
Just like Jay Williams, except I think Jay's was a motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, you grow up watching your dad coach high school that way and probably turn into a lunatic.
Oh,
yourself.
the old man's probably a psycho too, I'm guessing.
Yep.
One of those high school coaches that you dread getting.
Well, he did. He won like 20 championships in New Jersey. It's like, or maybe he was coaching in New York.
He was like Bud Kilmer.
He was coaching in New Jersey.
Varsity Blues.
St. Anthony High School, a legendary high school from the 70s to the 20-aughts.
Just torturing young people.
Yeah, just absolutely ruining the lives of young people in the name of winning a high school basketball championship.
That guy. They were raised by that guy.
Yeah.
That's I guess what happened. The luckiest thing that ever happened to Dan was him passing on the Laker job. Could you imagine that act in the NBA?
I would love to see him light up Luka.
Oh, Luka would look right at him, roll his eyes, and then get him fired.
Luka's doing it with JJ. They had a quite tense exchange in the last couple of weeks. So
the Smallye is done for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I definitely think he might get another year. But why would you? Like, you're starting over next year. You're turning the page to the Luka Lakers. You're going to have an entirely new roster outside of AR, Austin Reeves, and Luka. So why not just bring in a new coach that Luka wants?
The Sommeliers' days are numbered, just like Luka's engagement.
We don't need to take personal shots at him for his wife moving back to Slovenia.
She was not his wife.
His girlfriend.
Fiance, 0 for 2.
The mother of his children.
1 child, 2 children.
2. She's going back home, taking the kids.
Is he engaged anymore? Nope. That was just an observation, bro, not a low blow. It's not my fault.
It felt like a low blow. You and I both had the same reaction. Christian was like, whoa.
Well,
Nick's getting personal.
He's turning the page.
One thing about making fun of J.J. Redick for liking sommelier, or liking wine, but we get to get mad at him for his house burning down in the fires? What's going on?
You're the one who brought up page turning. The Lakers are turning the page. Luka's turning the page. Everybody deserves a fresh start once in a while. The fiance,
including Luka's fiance.
She does.
Bazing!
She does. Obviously, she's unhappy.
Wow. Or maybe Luka was unhappy and he turned the page
right.
on her.
Everybody, hey, sometimes.
I live in L.A. now.
That's what I'm saying.
Those Dallas 10s are L.A. 4s. You know what I'm saying?
Now who's?
I don't actually believe.
Now who's putting actions?
It's Adam Silver's fault.
Yeah.
That Luka's relationship broke up?
Yeah, for forcing the trade, manipulating the trade behind the scenes. If he were still in Dallas, I don't think this would be happening.
Probably true.
Probably true. Like you have any idea? Probably true. You have any understanding whatsoever?
What are the divorce
in
rates in Dallas versus Los Angeles?
Well, they weren't married.
Correct. Yeah, I guess that's true.
I would guess she's leaving him for somebody who's in a little better shape.
Because there's a lot of those in Slovenia, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't like the soft body.
Los Angeles has a divorce rate of 6%, while Dallas has just 5.3.
That can't be true. Isn't the national divorce rate like 50?
Yeah.
So that's incorrect. I don't know what
6 in Los Angeles would be,
I don't know what
unbelievably successful.
fake news you're
5
giving
would be
us,
crazy.
but that's
This is
incorrect.
Google AI, of course.
Yeah, they're killing it.
Great job.
Doing a bang-up job.
They're doing a tenth of the divorces anywhere else.
The people in Los Angeles, of all places, have figured out marriage. Yeah, sure.
Well, just look at the Gov.
Yeah, he doesn't have marriage figured out. No.
No, he does not.
If you believe. He and, were we doing random couples? Weren't we talking about that once?
Mm-hmm.
He and Kimberly Guilfoyle have got to be like the most random couple ever, right? That they were actually married?
Because she switched teams after? Meaning she started...
Easy
She
there.
married a Republican? Or started dating Trump Jr.?
I think she was always a Republican.
Was she?
I think so. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. I don't know the
It's
personal
like James
history.
Carville, though. James Carville
yeah.
got
They're
Bill
still
Clinton
married.
elected, and yeah, his wife is a huge Republican strategist. So
It happens.
yeah, they're all playing the same game. They know that.
Yeah,
Behind the scenes, they
100%.
recognize.
All right,
what's going
you
on.
and I are filling in for Scotty for hour number 1 of Scotty and Friends. We're going to talk to Mike Smith at 12:30. Maybe. He's
see if
done
the
with
blood
the
work's
spa.
done.
Yeah. All right. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.